Yo, yo, yo. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Black Roots back at it again with another episode on the Real Rap Coalition podcast. This is a continuation of the segment Crash Course, but we're going to do it a little bit different. For this, we're going to be reviewing and recapping Invincible. That's the animated show that came on in March of 2021. Yeah, March of 2021. Um, Superheroes, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of drama, a little bit of comedy here and there, you know what I'm saying? They have a new season coming out on November 3rd. And so I just wanted to bring y'all a recap of the first one because I am just now watching the first season. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm going through the journey of going through the first season, I wanted to go through it with y'all. And so I'm just going to be giving my takes and my reviews and my analytics to what this show is bringing us. You know what I'm saying? Uh yeah, so Invincible. First I want to talk about the cast a little bit. Um Two characters, both from Walking Dead. I don't know if y'all have watched that before, but it's a great show, Walking Dead. Stephen Ying and Lauren Cohan. Very great actors from what I've seen. I've also seen Stephen Ying. I didn't see the movie, but I saw that he was also in Nope, the movie by Jordan Peele. And I've heard good things about that movie, but still haven't watched it. I do plan on going through all of the Jordan Peele movies that I haven't seen yet. Nope. This Is Us, things of that nature. But from what I've seen from him, I very much enjoy his acting. Lauren Cohan as well. She also has a spinoff going on right now of The Walking Dead. I can't remember what the name of it right now, but not our main focus. We also got Sandra Oh. I'm not 100% sure where I know her from, but I know I do. Same thing with J.K. Simmons. Just kind of trying to breathe through this a little bit. So y'all, do your research if you want to, but not going to do that right now. Zazie Beats. First of all, she fine as hell. Second of all, she played Amber Burnett in this show. I'm sorry. Stephen King played Mark Grayson. Sandra Oh played Debbie Grayson, which is the mother. Lauren Cohan played War Woman. Zazie Beats played Amber Burnett. I've also seen her in Deadpool 2. She played Domino, and I've also seen her in The Harder They Fall. I can't remember what exactly her name was in that, but I remember she did very well in that as well. I'm gonna fuck his name up. Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. He played Titan. He also played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. Did a very good job. He's also I don't know if it's considered at this point or he definitely is playing in the new Blade as Blade. But again, what I've seen from him, very great actor. Those are the only people I am surely. Oh well, no, there's a couple of other people in here. Lenny James played Darkwing, also played in Walking Dead. That's crazy. Ross Marquand. I'm gonna leave it there. He played the Immortal, and he also played in The Walking Dead. He came in a little bit later, somewhere around 7 or 8 season. But yeah, so it's actually quite a few familiar faces. However, not familiar to the voice acting side of things, as far as I'm concerned. But a majority of these people died in the first episode, so there's that. Yeah, from what I heard from them, they weren't that bad. There definitely was some things that I could critique. Voice acting is so much different from, I don't want to say real acting, but live action acting, because you can use other things other than your voice to convey a point or convey a gesture, things like that. But with voice acting, you have to do 100% of that with your voice. There's not much you can do because you're not being seen. So you have to act these things out. These lines that you're saying or motions that are being made. Like sounding gassed out while you're running, or uh, maybe someone sounding like they're gurgling blood or getting beat up, or things of that nature. All have to be done 100% through their ability to voice act. And so it's a different skill. It's a great skill if you're great at it. But I didn't have a whole lot of grief with the voice acting that I've heard on here from these people. But I have heard better. You know what I'm saying? So to continue on, to get into the episode, they start out the episode very, very low toned. You start out with two officers having a conversation in front of the White House. Now, I don't know if it's because I've watched so much shit, especially over the last 9-10 months, but either there are a lot of things that are reused over and over, and it might be a little bit of both, but there are a lot of things reused in different shows and movies and whatnot. I don't know if it's just that, or it's just I just been watching too much shit, because halfway through this conversation I was like, yeah, it's about to be some shit to pop off. And so they lull you into a sense of comfort getting to know these two officers, and then two blue niggas pop up out of the street. Boom. That's how they started. Yeah, these two clearly super villain, powered beings, bust up through the street. Their objective is to kill the president. These super niggas, great value, Justice League, pop up out of nowhere to save the day. Superhero show, you expect that. They pop up, start getting busy with these two blue niggas. They're called the Guardians. They pop up, start throwing hands. Then Nolan Grayson, I don't remember his superhero name right now. That is crazy. But the father of the main character shows up and starts helping the Guardians. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's a cool opening scene. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It wasn't super crazy, but it was cool. It was a cool way to open. I feel like they did a bit of world building in the first 5 minutes, which was also cool. The only other time that I've seen them use a superhero atmosphere where there are multiple of them in a TV show, especially an animated TV show, is two animes that I've watched, which is One Punch Man and My Hero Academia. Now there may be more, please don't kill me. Whatever. But they do a little bit of a story building or world building rather, and I think that's what the main point of this first episode was. They introduce us to the main character, which is Mark Grayson. He hasn't gotten his powers yet. A lot like how they introduce us to the main character in My Hero Academia is, kid hasn't gotten his powers yet, but he's coming of age and he's very hopeful, of getting his powers. He's also continuously walking in his dad's shadow. I like how they kind of told that story. It's very rare that you get to experience a superhero origins within the beginning of his coming into himself. You know what I'm saying? Pause. That was kind of crazy. But yeah, I've heard people dislike kind of going through that journey. I've heard people say that Mark Grayson is ass because when he finally first gets his powers, he don't know what the fuck he doing. In which it's the same thing with all of the Spider-Man movies that they do. These niggas don't know what the fuck they be doing when they first pop out, but they kind of slow walk it with this. Saying they kind of slow walk it with this. You get to see him actually learn how to be a superhero. He's learning this from his dad. I think that is a different way of telling this story. Spider-Man didn't have anybody helping him. Well, in a majority of the Spider-Mans, nobody was helping them when they first got their powers. The only one out of all of them that had help was Miles Morales. And then Tom Holland's Spider-Man got some help, but kind of later. He got some help from Iron Man, but he got a little bit more help from the other Spider-Mans in the third Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Also, spoilers. Sorry about that. Probably should have said that. Also, I want to take a break to say, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We very much appreciate all of our followers. I think we're up to about 135, somewhere around that. But we very much appreciate y'all. We've been grinding this out for a little minute now. We're coming up on a year very soon, and we're gonna have something special for y'all. Come our first year anniversary of doing this show. And like I said, we very much appreciate y'all. We very much appreciate the interaction that we get from y'all when y'all do decide to interact. So please feel free to comment in the live comment if you're watching this kind of later, and give your perspective, give your critiques. We like hearing from y'all, and we like responding to y'all. So shout out to y'all. Yeah, so sorry, I was checking something. But yeah, so Grace, what is his name? Grayson? Gary, Mark. That's crazy. Mark finally gets his powers. He's working this bullshit ass job. And he's taking the trash out. All of a sudden throws the fucking garbage out in space and shit. And his reaction is very minimal. His reaction is just like, oh, finally. He didn't really react like how you would expect somebody finally getting powers that they've been waiting on all this time to react. His tone goes from cool, I got my powers, to a large amount of anxiety of being who he wants to see himself as. He very much wants to see himself as he sees his dad. He wants to be a great hero that helps people and is able to do these amazing things. He's also got what a lot of the young superheroes have whenever you see them growing up or whatever. He has a bully at school. You know what I'm saying? I've never been bullied, but it's definitely that's not true. I was bullied one time in third grade, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, he's dealing with this bully at school, and when he gets his powers, he's a brand new guy. You know what I'm saying? But he's, like I said, he's very anxious. His dad said, "Hey man, we're gonna start training in the morning." He can't sleep. He go out trying to fly, and I fully expected him to suck. I thought he was gonna jump out the porch or the roof and break his neck or some shit. But he start floating, go up in the air, almost get hit by a plane, then crashes into the ground. So didn't do as bad as I expected him to, because I didn't expect him to be able to fly at all. But he was able to at least fly a little bit. Couldn't land for shit. Cool. Wakes up the next morning. This tired, attitude that he has, on top of the anxiety of filling his father's shoes, it's all coming together at the same time. And I feel like, I don't know if it was on purpose or what, but that scene between them two during the training session was kind of awkward, in which you kind of expect that. They kind of describe it a little bit more when what's his name, Nolan Grayson, Mark's father, is talking to Debbie Grayson, his wife, about this moment that they're coming into. He wasn't expecting it, and he's kind of fearful of it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really know fully what he's doing with trying to teach his son how to be a superhero. So yeah, man. So he's a little bit pissed off. uh Also, there was a little thing that happened in the conversation between uh Nolan and Debbie. Debbie asked him if he may have pushed him too hard, and just a regular question. And then he turns into a fucking dick out of nowhere. He's like, "Are you questioning me?" I'm like, "Damn, bro, you good?" But you can clearly see that there was something that snapped in him for just a second, and he's able to bring himself back fairly quickly. You know what I'm saying? And but they finish out this conversation, go on the next day. Mark decides to do the same thing that Spider-Man did. I actually see the influences from other superhero movies and shows when in this one, you know, him making his own costume and going out trying to fight crime, barely knowing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So he goes out, gets his ass kicked for like 5 seconds, and then kind of accidentally beats the shit out of some supervillain, you know, stops them from robbing or trying to evade the police or some shit like that. Uh Mark Pops pop up and he's like, "Hey, doing a little bit much, bro. Can clearly see you don't know what you're doing." Then jump from that conversation to taking him to get his costume made. And yeah, it's cool. Like I said, a whole lot of world building. There was one I want to go back because I actually missed this. There was the night before, I guess, the training where they kind of went back in time to build to do some character development for um Nolan's character, Nolan, you know, the father. Says where he's from. It's kind of a little bit of a Superman origins type thing where he's from another planet, and they grow up, get their powers, then they kind of start getting sent out, kind of like ambassadors or you know, just helpers, guiders for planets who are underdeveloped. And he was relocated to Earth, found Debbie, they fell in love, had Mark, you know, the whole story. Uh, I thought it was cool. Like I said, a lot of influence from a lot of different places. Superman being the main one, with being the alien coming from another place and falling in love with a human. You know, the whole Clark and Lois thing. Cool, a little bit bitish, but cool. Um, Fast forward back to after the conversation with the tailor, I guess, the guy who makes costumes. Um, this episode went kind of slow. I'm not gonna lie to you, there wasn't a whole lot of shit that happened. They had a conversation. They had a lot of dialogue in this. Wasn't a whole lot of action. They had another conversation where, you know, Nolan was doing more coaching, you know, for his son. And I thought it was cool that they was kind of casually throwing a baseball around the world, playing catch. Thought that was kind of dope while standing back to each other. I thought that was kind of cool. Never seen that before between two people, you know. And while they're having this casual conversation, Nolan says something that sparks the gears in Mark's head. He said, a lot of teams run around doing a whole lot of stuff thinking they're invincible, but you're different because you actually are invincible. And that gives him his idea that, you know, he was talking to the tailor, the costume tailor, about with coming up with some type of theme or something like that, maybe a brand or something to an icon, you know, to be known by. So, you know, he brings this back to the tailor. You know, they make his suit. I don't think they showed the suit at that point, but they did a thing, and I thought my TV was glitching, but they went to the credits and then went to a conversation. I was like, okay, that's weird. But I, you know, hit the arrow on my TV to make sure my shit wasn't fucking up. And no, it's like 7 more minutes left. I'm like, all right, cool. They get back to the Guardians and, you know, in their different places and locations, and they're all having this beeper going off, kind of like some Teen Titan shit with the little remote shit that go off whenever something's going on and somebody's signaling that they need help. In the midst of them gathering all these people, they had another one of those superhero lame ass lines. It was, and it had to be the black guy. Why? I don't fucking know. But Darkwing, he kind of bums down on these criminals about to do a break-in, and one of them stops what he's doing and he's staring off into the distance, and the other guy's like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he says Darkwing, you know, as if he's scared of him showing up. And the other guy's like, oh, he's not going to show up. And lo and behold, he's off in the distance staring right at him. And what did he say? He said, it was so fucking corny. He said something along the lines of, I'm always where I need to be. Like, get your goof ass out of here with this lame ass shit. Like, why do they always have to have one corny ass line? They had a lot of them in Luke Cage. Luke Cage had a lot of corny ass lines, and I cringe every time they do this. It's like, bro, who's writing this shit? Who's writing this shit? People don't talk like this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so fast forward, all of the guardians are in their little lair and shit, and they're like, all right, what's going on? Who called? Pardon me. Sorry. Had to get a drink. You know, who called? What's going on? And they're like, oh, I didn't call neither. Well, who called? Fucking, what's his name? I've been calling him by his fucking first and last this whole time, and I can't remember his fucking superhero name. Omni-Man. That's what it is. Omni-Man. So Omni-Man shows up about to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? He came to squabble. He brought everybody together to get down. You know what I'm saying? So Red Rush. Yeah, Red Rush peeps what's going on, pushes dude out the way. They start squabbling and shit. And this is very odd for Omni-Man to be doing to the Guardians, because they all fight for the same cause. So it seems. Last time they seen each other, they was helping each other and shit. You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck he pull up one smoke? But don't matter. Nigga want smoke. So smoke happened. You know what I'm saying? So they go to fighting and shit, and this nigga Omni-Man makes very quick work of these niggas. Like, he getting these niggas out of here one by one. I fuck with the animation on the blood and guts. I really fucked with it. From the crushing the head on Red Rush to smacking the shit out of War Woman with her own, I don't know, hammer, ball on a stick. I don't know. Smack the shit out of her, punch through Green Girl face. Like, this nigga wilding. Like, he wilding these niggas up bad. He getting down on these niggas. And like I said, this shit only lasts like 4 minutes, maybe. And he smoked all these niggas one by one. No words had. The last nigga was trying to, why? With his fucking guts hanging out and shit. Omni-Man, like, nigga, I ain't trying to talk. Cut his head off with his hand. And then, you know, everybody dead. It looked like he may have passed out, or he may have died from blood loss. I don't know. He's Omni-Man. He seems like the Superman character of this show, so I don't think he would die that quickly. But there's clearly something going on with this nigga that made him snap. You know, things have been very awkward with him, seeing as, you know, he don't really know how to act with his son. He punched the shit out of his son while they was training the shit, which he justified it a little bit with, you know, I gotta push him this hard. But he socked the shit out that nigga. The nigga couldn't breathe. And they was supposed to be, this was the first day. Going from that to snapping on his wife. Are you questioning me, head ass nigga? Like nigga doing not doing a lot, but he doing more than he should be. You know what I'm saying? He go from that to smoking a gang of niggas for no reason, apparently, or so it seems. You know, uh, but yeah, that so to go back when this released, when this show released, I actually saw this scene, this fight scene, little bits and pieces, and it's popped up on a few timelines for me, on different apps and things like that. But I've never watched the whole thing from front to end, and it was fire. It was some cold ass shit going on. The Red Rush getting his head smashed, and while he's doing this, he's punching Omni Man in the chest as fast and as hard as he can, but it ain't doing shit. All he bruising him a little bit, but he really breaking his hands while he doing this shit. He's fighting for his life. Nigga, I pop out the socket, just out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere. His head's getting crushed. But that shit was crazy. I think this was probably the livest scene of the entire episode. I hope that it's more of this stuff, but that's what we got. And they turned it up at the end, a lot like how they do with a lot of different shows to, keep you on the edge of your seat with wanting to see what happens next. So I like how they gave the no explanation for what is going on. They just kind of left things where they was at, and I'm assuming they're gonna pick up on the next episode. Cool start. Like I said, they did a lot of world building, not a whole lot of character development. They did a little bit for Omni Man, did a little bit for Mark, but that's pretty much it. I be honest, I am excited to see where this goes. Pretty much everybody else on the podcast talks about this show often. You know, and they've clowned me a few times for not seeing it, but I'm finally watching it, and it seems cool so far. Like I said, I'm excited to see what happens next. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, and subscribe, please. We fuck with y'all, so fuck with us. And that's been another episode of Real Rap Coalition Podcast on the Crash Course segment, Invincible, Season 1, Episode 1. Episode 2 coming very soon. I'm kind of try to fly through this for y'all just to get all of this out before November 3rd when the second season comes out. So be on the lookout for Episode 2 breakdown and recap very soon, maybe sometime this week, maybe sometime this weekend, definitely sometime next week for sure. I will make sure that by next week I have another episode for you guys. And yeah, thanks for fucking with me. Peace out.